Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for joining us for our top 10 earwax removal videos. These are the 10 of my personal favorite videos. Up until lockdown, I would say would probably be the best way of describing it. This patient came through very, very blocked up ear canals. Now this was a mammoth extraction. It took a long time to get this out. What you'll see here is we've got some very, very thick, almost like a sort of stretchy kind of wax and a little bit of dry skin in here as well, all bound together, causing a real big blockage in this patient's ear canals. This was one of my favorites just because of the sheer amount of wax we took out. It was one of the more difficult ones to do, and as anyone who watches this channel knows, I love a challenge. So it was a real tough extraction to do this one. So we've got the standard size ulnar tube in here, just slowly kind of pulling this this kind of more sticky, thicker type wax down the canal at the moment. Just trying to wiggle it back and forth just to loosen this up a little bit. I think this video goes on for about 30 minutes. So if you did want to nip off and grab yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and come back, you're more than welcome to. So we've got the standard size. We've got the Jobson horn in here. Just slowly pulling this front section away. And you'll see as we pull this away, it's actually drawing more wax down the canal towards the entrance. You see that very thick, sticky type wax there as well. Nice big chunk. So we're just going to get behind this next section. You can see at the moment we can't really see much past, we certainly can't see the eardrum here. And we've got another big chunk coming away now. You can see how that is just sort of pulling down the canal, still attached to the piece behind it. Got this little bit of kind of dry skin that's interwoven through, and that's what you can see hanging around the edge of the canal there. So kind of interwoven through these wax pieces. Just trying to get behind it, trying to pull this section forwards here. I can't quite break the skin ribbon that's going through this using the Jobson horn there. So I'm trying to get behind it and pull it forwards. I'm hoping if we can pull it, it'll pull the next section through. You can lift that up. You can see it's quite a big piece there. And we've still got that little skin ribbon here. Look, you see it disappearing into the base of the canal. Look how wide that piece of skin is as well. Now we may be able to get a good grip on this with the crocodile forceps here, but I think looking how thin that was going to tear away. There we are. So that's got out of the way. We needed to get rid of that piece because every time we went to look in the ear canal, basically that piece was just blocking our view as well. So we're just going to take away another bit of that skin ribbon. Let's take a look behind that. There's still more wax in here. A lot in the attic region. So there's an area at the top of the canal and then sloping down the right hand side here. You can see it as you're kind of trying to pull this away. You can actually see it on the video where it's pulling. It's not giving. It's holding in there really tightly. So we've got crocodile forceps now. Let's see if we can get either side of this little blockage here and pull forwards. It's a really delicate balancing act when you use crocodile forceps because if you pinch too tightly, it's just going to shear. If you don't hold on tightly enough, you're just going to lose the grip on it. So it's always that kind of fine sort of balancing act. We'll get a nice good grip here with a standard size ulnar tube. Lots of wiggling going on there. Look at that. You can see that skin coming away now. If you follow the top 10s, you'll get to see the difference between the kind of the skin debris you see and then the wax debris as well. They've got a very different appearance. So sometimes they can appear quite flat, sometimes they can appear very rippled. It's normally that kind of more cream color as well. So we've got rid of the skin issue that was sitting at the front of the canal now. So now we can get to the wax that's sitting behind it. So a little bit of skin here at the top though. Let's get rid of that little plate there. There we are. We've still got more in here. Just slowly moving this from side to side. I'm trying to maneuver this just so that I can get a good grip, because at the moment we've got lots of little pieces all jutting out as very kind of thin angles. Imagine the suction tube trying to get a grip on that. It's not going to be able to. So if we can bend that more flat, then the suction tube then as it comes onto it will get a much better grip, which is what I'm trying to do here. But as we're pulling it, it's just drawing these little tiny pieces away. So it's just very slowly breaking this away. It's very dried onto the canal there in the top left-hand corner. And you can see this front section, there we are, just starting to break. I was going to say, it's just starting to break away there a little bit. I can see it lifted off the base of the canal. You can see that ripple at the base of this piece. That's a dry skin again there, look, you see. And it just makes it kind of tough as all boots, because you're trying to sort of shift this out and shift it along, but that skin is holding everything in place, especially if the back end of that piece of dry skin is still attached further into the canal. There we go. Let's try and use that skin against itself if we can get a good enough grip. We couldn't quite get on to that little bit of skin far enough, because the layer above it is more angular. As you push onto it with a crocodile forceps, instead of it being flat, which would be perfect for the forceps, it's tilted up. So as you try to get a grip on it, the top end of the forceps pushes it further back. So I'm trying to loosen it again now with the Zollner tube. There we go. Now you start to see that coming away. You saw the whole thing turn, which means we got to this skin layer around the outside edge. Still coming. There we are. I just broke away. So you could see how much of that, when you unravel it, how long those pieces are. This is skin as well. You can see just for the fact it's layered over one another in there. Let's pop this one out as well. See how long this one comes out. Look at that coming away there. Just slowly unraveling all these skin bits, skin debris. And just the right hand side, the purple you can see is the eardrum. So we've got this one large chunk here. Imagine how blocked up this patient must have felt to be, to have all of this in their ear canal as well, going almost the full length of the canal. It was an absolute corker to remove this one. We've got that thin end on the front now, so I'd imagine the crocodile, yeah, there we go. So the crocodile forceps are going to come into play now because we can't get the good suction grip there. It's just shearing through. So if we go behind it, we've got the Jobson horn here now. See if we can get up and over the top without pushing it back in, which is always a really difficult. Yeah, you can see as we pushed on the top, look, it just dropped that piece of skin further in. So now we've got to try and pull it back out towards the outer part of the ear canal. There we go. We managed to get over the top of it. It's still attached, so you can still see some of that that outer kind of dry skin casing. Look, see, disappearing off into the canal there. It's still coming, still coming, still going. There. Now we talked about knowing when you get to the end of these things because they get really kind of mushy and floppy at the end. That's what happened there. But my goodness, look at the length of that skin ribbon. And let's take a look behind that now. Oh my goodness, we've still got some more in there. So let's get this next section away as well. This was what was resting right up against the eardrum, this last piece here. Now these look like little tiny separate pieces rather than being that long kind of ribbon like we've been pulling out so far. So we're just going to take that one away. There you go. And take a look behind that. There's still more. And we're still going. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this piece here to the left-hand side. And we've got a piece there just resting against the drum as well. So let's get rid of this piece on the left-hand side first of all. And let's very, very delicately remove this piece on the drum. So we're working down very, very slowly. Patient just moved a little bit there. There we go. Perfect. So that's taken away. Somebody mentioned in the comments on one of the videos last week about me talking about the bridge. We talk about the bridge a lot. Now, bridge is basically where you maintain contact with the patient at all times so that if the patient moves, they move with you. So, for instance, that's a perfect example where you saw the patient move then. When we've got the tools on the going into the ear on the side of the head, for instance, with the suction tube or any other tool, I'm right-handed, so I use my right hand for the tool and the left hand for the endoscope. So my right little finger is always against the patient's face here. So if that patient does make a sudden movement, you move with them. And it's the same with the endoscope as well. When you're using the endoscope, you've always, anything in audiology, you've always got your pinkies extended. So you're kind of, with the tool, you're resting against there. With the endoscope, you're resting there. With your kind of pinky against the side of the head, so you move with both then as you get that movement. It's really important. That bridge is really, really important. Patients do get cough reflexes. They do tend to move sometimes. Especially imagine suctioning a little piece into the ear and it squeaks or pops. The patient may jump, which means you've got to maintain that bridge at all times. So we've managed to get some of this wax out now. It's looking very, very dry in this side. Slightly different consistency to what we saw coming out on the other ear here. So we've got the crocodile forceps in there, just removing. See, it kind of crumbles. So what you get is this little crumbly material coming away. Just pushing down, finding it difficult here, look, to get that the end of the Jobson horn, which has got that angle to it, finding it difficult to get behind that block of wax to sort of angle into it. This doesn't really seem to be a tremendous amount of space in here to get around it. I'm going to try and use the edge of the wax. Sometimes that will pull away. It's just scrape. So sometimes what you'll have is like a harder outer section. What happened then was you just scraped along the top, so you just took off the sort of central section of wax. So I'm just trying to lift up now from the bottom. You can see the pinkness to the skin under there. Look, you see, as it's peeling away, it's been rubbing back and forth. There's actually a little, almost like at the beginnings of a blood blister there. You can see that pink circle. I'm going to try and lift from this right side now into the canal. I'm going to have a drink because I've been talking for hours, it feels like today. There we are. So just slowly pulling into that central section there. Just trying to detach all of this right-hand side. If we can't get this right-hand side detached, what's going to happen is as we pull that central section, our right side is going to hold it in. So that piece is gone. Okay. And we're just drawing across and into that center again. You can see where it's just starting to loosen, just starting to pull apart a little bit there. That central part though, that central section is still held quite firm. I'm leaning in to get a better look, sorry. There we are, starting to loosen now on this right side. It's all about just trying to find any loose section you can exploit, basically, within that blockage. So you're always trying to loosen those sections away. So we just introduced a bit of olive oil in here as well now, which does help to kind of loosen and unbind it a little bit. Although it does look like not a tremendous amount got down to the wax here. There we are, just trying to get that top section pulled down now. This is a long strip of skin here. Got a good grip. That's pulling away really nicely. So that's come off the top. Imagine this is the blockage here. It's come off the top section just there. It's starting to loosen up this right. If we can get this right side loosened up, it's going to pull a section from the center as well, I think. Yeah, there you see. So as we pulled it down, do you see that central section just start to loosen at the top there? Let's get a good grip on this with the crocodile forceps. Fingers crossed it'll hold tightly. It's pulling through the center, twisting and turning that blockage behind. So almost like a yo-yo, if you like. So you're pulling the string and it slowly spins the wax string. So pulling the skin as if it was the string of the yo-yo, and it slowly spins that wax around, which is going to help us to get a better grip here. And it's also going to loosen it a little bit. Look how much looser that is now. See, it's not quite so tightly bound and packed together. Another piece of skin here. Let's see what's going on behind that now. Okay, we can still see some layers there. Let's see how loose this central section is. Not particularly, and these side sections are still really quite firmly attached there as well. I think if we can pull across there, we may be able to loosen it. There we go. We can just see a little bit of movement. There we are. Loose piece just disappeared into the suction. Let's try and loosen this left-hand side again. Very slowly pulling. You can see that whiter debris. See how it's actually starting to spin, because you can see a little bit more of that whiter debris, which is dead skin that this has been sitting on top of. Still quite a big chunk and a plug there. Let's see if we can pop the crocodile forceps through the center, get a grip, and break. There we go, that central section. Now that's opened that central section up a little bit. That's going to allow us to get in there now. Try it again with the forceps. Are you going to be well behaved? Yeah, you can see it pulling and unraveling that central piece. There we go. Slowly, there we are. Now you start. Once you've got, so we got that kind of linchpin piece out now. So everything is really starting to move. It's starting to loosen up a little bit. We've got that central section, which means we can fold the edges up into the center of the canal there a little bit better. Really holding on to that central section. Trying to get the good suction grip. There we go. It's really starting to move now. It's going, it's coming out. You can see it's really working its way down the canal very well. There we go. Right, there's more. There's got to be more in there, because there's no way that was the entire plug. No, there we go. Let's see if we can hold on to this bottom section here. Still really tight, unfortunately. I think we've just loosened that one little strand. If we can get hold of that with the crocodile forceps, I'm hoping it's going to pull that right section and spin the wax again then, so we can get to the next piece. Let's see if that skin will hold tight enough. Not quite, unfortunately, not quite. Okay. There we are. Now you can see it moving. You just saw that kind of layer pull from the bottom right hand corner around. There we are. Now we can start to see the eardrum there. Look, so we know we've loosened this section. Thank goodness that section came out of the valley as well, because if you imagine, it would be very, very difficult to get really hard, tough skin debris like this that are dried into that valley. Look at the layers. Look, that piece there actually originated behind the section we can see on the left-hand side. So that's come away now. That's going to free up some space to the left-hand side of this blockage, I'm hoping. So we may be able to pull down now from the top. It's still pretty wedged in there. This top section here is where it's dried into place. That needs to come down and away. Almost peeling away. You can see that looser skin now from the attic coming down. There we are. This top right corner does not want to budge. It really doesn't. Can we maneuver this section from the left across to the right now then? Okay, so we're going to use the crocodile forceps. See if we can get a grip on this central section. Too soon. Just there. Brill. That whole section just kind of unraveled and pulled forwards. Here we are. And it pulled it from that really deep section of the canal there further forward, which is going to be a little bit easier for us to get hold of now. Obviously, when it's very close to the eardrum like that, you've got to be really careful with how much pressure you put onto it, because it can push against the eardrum and cause a bit of discomfort in there. And obviously you run the risk of perforation as well, so you've got to be really careful with these things. The fact that this is drawn out to the outer part of the ear canal, which means that we can safely get a better grip on it. You can see it's really coming apart nicely now. Trying to make it small enough to fit out of the ear canal at the moment. There we are. Just wiggle that out. Brilliant. And the next section. Fantastic. And the next section. Look at this strip that's coming away now. You can actually see where it's feeding back into the ear canal. So we're just getting a good grip on this, trying to wiggle this up and down. Look at this coming away, this ribbon. Now this is effectively what this plug's been all the way through, is these long, thin, dry skin layers like this, all the way around, just woven into one another and forming this kind of dry skin knot, if you like. There we are. That's come away really nicely there. Brilliant. Let's see what's going on behind that. There's probably more. Yeah, there's still more in there. So you can see the size of this plug. You know, we've been working on this ear now for a good, probably if we took the edits out, probably a good 15 minutes. And we're still pulling debris out of this ear canal, which is why it's one of my favorites, because this was one of the biggest ones. I think we may have got a bigger one than this now, because we had a chap came through with a mastoid cavity that we cleared out a few weeks back. I think that may just have this one pipped. It may just have pipped it to the biggest one we've done, I think. But this is still one of my favorites. Nice, large, dry piece there coming away. Fantastic. That's a good portion of debris there. Yeah, there we are. We start to see the eardrum now. We've still got a bit to clear, mind, on this left-hand side of the canal wall there. Got this thin, it's all these layers still attached up there. So let's see if we can pull that down from the top left, if we can get a grip there. There we are. We may have to get another grip in a second by the looks of it. There we go. Perfect. You can see that's almost that is the shape of the ear canal. Sorry. So now we've still got this dry debris up here into the attic, and a little bit down near the eardrum as well. We're still pulling stuff out of this ear. Now this piece is hanging down. It would be perfect normally to get the grip on. The difficulty is it's hanging flat. So obviously we're trying to get the forceps onto that. It's not going to work. So we need to kind of pull it down a bit further and maybe bend it slightly so we can get the forceps on it. You can see there's a little bit of loose wax in there that's bouncing around with the suction as well. Very, very tough old stuff, this. Like I said at the start, we do enjoy a challenge. We do enjoy the kind of really difficult ones to do. They do tend to be the most satisfying ones. They're the really tough ones. Now we're starting to get, we're loosening that skin there at the top. I think pulling this down now, we're going to pull we should have a nice big chunk coming down from that top, I think, now. I can see that one piece. We should be able to crocodile forceps that now. Here we are. Oh, it's so frustrating. It almost came away, almost. And it's really hard to get the forceps on because it's dangling in such a difficult angle. Really, really tough to get the forceps on. If we can just loosen and bring this top section down here. There we are. We start to see it peel there, look. So we're peeling along the canal wall here. Sometimes we're lucky, and when you get a peel like that, it'll loosen the section you were trying to work on. There, look at this coming down from the top left-hand corner now. Look at that. No wonder that wasn't going to budge. Look at this coming away. We're going to have to grip that, I think, with the forceps there. It's almost got a grip on it. There we go. Look at that coming away from the canal. That was such a large piece hidden up there in the attic. Look at that piece coming away. So there we are. We've got a few little straggly pieces. We're now clearing the attic. Just got a few little bits and bobs. Those two dry pieces should come out really, really easily now. Here's the one. And the second one. So a little bit of sort of old skin there to the top right. If we can just get a grip on it. It's whether we'll get the angle. Oh, there we are. That came away perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Yeah, I thought we'd aim for that piece. See if we can get this off the drum. Very gently. There we go. Oh, no, it's still there. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Oh, is it coming away? There we are. And let's see if we can just lift this little piece here as well. Looking a little bit mucky around that area. That's just the soft sort of dead skin that's been attached everywhere. There we go. Perfect. The eardrum looks really healthy. My good. So this is what we removed. You can see just how much. And when we bunch it all together then, there was so much came out of that ear. You know, we've got what, 13 centimeters there. I think if we put it end to end, we would have been close to about 20 some odd centimeters, I think. You know, 5 inches, just or 5.25 inches there. Look at all it. You can see the individual skin pieces there that they've all been accumulating inside that ear canal, layering over the top of one another. It's absolutely, it is one of my all-time favorite wax removals. It was just so much in there, so much skin, so much debris. You know, really tough to remove. You have to use quite a lot of the tools to get that out. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed our top 10. If you did, leave a comment below, let me know. If it's something you'd like to see again at some point, we're more than happy to do that. Maybe do it sort of towards the end of the year or something like that. But as always, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching the channel. I hope you have a great weekend, and I shall see you again, back to normal again, next week. All the best.